Hello and welcome. I have decided to talk about a little known movie. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the Mario Galaxy movie that came out recently. I don't think anyone's heard about it. It's like some niche indie film. I don't know. But yeah, they made a movie about this game that I'm playing right now, Mario Galaxy. So I decided to talk about it while playing the game that it's based off of, even though it's barely based off of it. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'm playing as Luigi because of course I am. Now, I'm gonna start by saying I'm gonna probably just do a bunch of like easy levels that I haven't gotten all the stars in this as Luigi yet, but like, you know, I tried to do this before and I was doing the later levels and I was just dying, and it was taking my focus away from what I was saying. So I'm just gonna go with the easier levels here and just redo those just for background gameplay, you know? And I also, the audio was messed up, so I have to redo it anyway. So I I recorded like 2 hours of me just ranting about the Mario movies, so I'm gonna try and get a lot less than 2 hours, you know? So yeah, I'm just gonna do some levels that I've already done, just to not stress me out while I'm trying to say it. So I'm going to rant about the Mario movies. So if you don't want anything to do with that, leave now. So I'll start off by saying the Mario Galaxy movie was exactly what I thought it would be. I was not disappointed, which is basically one of the nicest things that I could say about it. What this movie really is just, it's references, the movie. That's really all they wanted for the movie, and that's what we got. That's why Nintendo hired Illumination for the film, to make these films. Because Illumination excels at that. They excel at, and I do not mean this in an insulting way for people, but they make movies for normies. Let's just say that. They make movies so that the most normie of normies can watch it and be like, oh, that looks nice. That looks like a nice movie. I'll take my kids to see it. And you know what? If you are that person and you're just like, you know what? I just want to go see a movie with my kid and have them just make a weekend out of it. And more power to you. I have nothing against you. But I'm just saying that's what Illumination is for. That's what they do. And that's not me being mean. That's literally their business model. They're just like, we're going to make movies as accessible to everyone as possible. You know, we're just gonna make the safest movies we can possibly make. Not challenging at all. That's what they want to do with their films, and they do it, you know? And that's why Nintendo wanted them to do it. Because that's what Nintendo wants. They want a safe movie that isn't going to challenge anyone. You could take your kids to see it, and that's it. Even though you can do that and make the movie good, but whatever. I don't think this is a good movie. I think it is a movie. It is a movie of all time. much like the first one, was just a movie, but even the first one had a little bit more substance to it. Like, I don't know, it had an arc, you know what I mean? It had an arc with, Mario himself. Jesus Christ. I picked an easy level. And now I'm screwing up. It's because I'm not paying attention, that's why. Anyway, so in the first movie, you get stuff with like Mario and, you know, the feelings that he has of like inadequacy, people thinking he's a loser, and even his own father is like kind of sees him as a little bit of a disappointment. His line when they're in the first movie at the dinner table and he's like, "You're dragging your brother down with you." That's actually that's something pretty messed up to say to someone. You know, and he doesn't even really realize it. When Mario like storms off angrily, he's like, "Well, what do I say?" You know, like you try to make it a little silly, but like that's kind of a messed up thing to say to your son, you know? That line alone has more like bite to it than the Mario Galaxy does in its entirety. The Mario Galaxy movie is just, let's get as many references to the Mario games in it as possible. As humanly possible. And very little plot. The plot is that Rosalina has been kidnapped by Bowser Jr. to power up his, like, cannon thingy that he built to destroy, I don't know, the galaxy? Is that what he was trying to do? Like, I assume that he was just trying to, like, I don't know, use the cannon as, like, a threat. You know, like the Death Star in Star Wars. It's like, we're not going to use it to destroy the galaxy, but we can use it as a threat. That, like, we can destroy your planet very easily if you don't comply. You know what I mean? That's what I thought it was for, but who knows? I don't know. Anyway, so basically that's the plot, and Princess Peach is going out to find her because Aluma comes down and is like, "Hey, my mama is that's what they call her, has been kidnapped, and now she said that you would come and save her if, you know, to come to look for you if this ever, you know, something like this ever happened." And that intrigues her because she doesn't know who this person is. She doesn't know who Rosalina is, so she's like, "Wait, what? How did she know about me?" See, there's a little bit of intrigue there. Because Peach doesn't know about her past. She doesn't remember. So, she just goes. In a scene that kind of is weird. Because she gets the Luma there. She gets the message from the Luma saying, like, "We need your help." And then she just decides to go, like, in the middle of the night. Like, she just jumps out the window into the star spinny things that are in the game. Because the Luma made one. And then she just blasts off and is like, "Yeah, okay, I'll go." And she wrote Mario a note, basically. That's literally just another, like, reference. Like, they only did this so that it could be a reference to the Mario 64, where she writes him a letter. Or any other Mario game where she writes him a letter. Including this one, at the beginning of Mario Galaxy. He gets a letter from her to come to the... Yeah. To come to the castle for the Star Shower event. And, she just leaves, and is like, hey, I'm leaving the castle and the toads in your care, Mario and Luigi. So it's like, I mean, that's a little weird, but okay. I don't know why she didn't just bring them with her. Like, she brought Toad with her. The Keegan-Michael Key Toad. And like, no one else? Just kind of weird. She could have brought Mario at least. But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's the plot. And then things happen. And there's a lot of scenes that happen, and they could have been cut, honestly. Like, there were scenes that came up in the movie where I was thinking, even in the theater, where I was like, did this really need to happen? Like, did we really need this scene? Didn't really amount to anything. And, the answer was usually no. Meanwhile, Bowser is still small, and he's imprisoned, and they gave him like a little mini Bowser castle, which also doesn't make any sense that, like, he can't just get out of this easily. He can easily escape. They establish in the first movie even that all you need to do to not have this power up anymore is to get hurt. So all he needs to do is hurt himself, which he does by accident in the movie. He gets his tail caught in the door, and he's very clearly in pain. He, like, roars in pain, and some fire comes out. It's like, this is just here for a comedic thing here, but, like, he got hurt, though. He was hurt. So, like, he should have become big again. But whatever. This is the kind of stuff that I noticed in the movie, but, like, when I went into this, I knew better, basically. I was just like, no, this is what this movie's gonna be, and I should just sit here and just look at the pretty animation and watch for all of the references and the Easter eggs, and that's what I got. So in the movie theater, I was like, fine with that. But if I'm gonna, you know, talk about this in a serious way, then yeah, that's a big problem with the movie. If we're talking problems, there you go. And you might think, okay, maybe the mini mushroom that they gave him works a little differently, but no. They establish in this film that he has to be hurt in order to get out of it. And Bowser, begs Mario to hit him so that he can be depowered from the mini shroom, and so that he can return to his regular size. So they established that in this movie, and it's like, okay, well, seems like an oversight on your part. But okay. Anyway, I'm getting hung up on that. It's just, they established it in the movie. Anyway, so I don't know. What even do I say other than just the whole film is made up of references, and that's basically what it is. That's what they wanted this whole thing to be. And there's some characters that could even be cut out. Like in the first movie, at the very end, when you go to the in the after credit scene, they like hype up the fact that Yoshi's gonna be in the next one. They show the Yoshi egg, and it like hatches a little bit, and then it ends, and it's like, oh, Yoshi's gonna come in the next movie, and he can honestly be cut from the film. Like he's barely. I mean, he's in it. He's in the whole movie, and he participates in the scenes. Oh my god, I just died. He participates in the scenes. He participates in like I don't know, in the fight scenes and stuff, he gets involved. But, like, he can easily be cut from the film. You can easily cut him out of the movie and get different, I don't even know. Like, he just doesn't even need to be there. And even characters like Luigi, unfortunately, as a self-proclaimed Luigi fan myself, you know, as unfortunate as it is to say, he could be cut from the film. He's, like, not needed at all. There's, like, nothing for him to do. Again, he does get involved in the plot. He has dialogue, I guess. But, you know, there's just not much there. But this movie does have some, like, ideas that you can have expanded upon, but they just don't do that. Like, with Bowser and Bowser Jr., they are kind of, weirdly enough, the heart of the film. I know that's weird to say that, but, like, it's true. They're the ones that have, like, the most heartfelt scene. And again, it's very basic. It's not like... It's not too complicated or anything, because that's not what they want. But... You know, it's like... But, you know, they try to do something there, and then it just... I don't know. They have Bowser be, like, a good guy for a little bit, where he has a change of heart when he becomes big again, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna actually help you, Mario and Luigi. I think you're cool guys. Even though before that, he was, like, antagonistic towards Mario. I don't know. It's just kind of abrupt. And then, very, 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 very quickly, he turns back to being a bad guy, just because Bowser Jr. picks him up in his saucer, and they make a big deal of him being a good guy, and then he's like, he gets picked up by Bowser Jr., and he's like, no, you're a bad guy, though. This is who you are, the Koopa King, you know, like, and we're gonna take over the galaxy as father and son, and that's basically when Bowser's like, yeah, you know what? I am the Koopa King, you know, and in typical Jack Skellington fashion, he's like, yeah! Whoops. But yeah, it's just like, okay, I guess that's it then for that. And it just, there's no substance to it. It's all references, no substance. Like, Bowser Jr., he has the brush, the paintbrush, nobody really questions it, no one understands, like, no one really even, like, looks at it and is like, whoa, how did you get that? You know, like, not that you have to, it's just, it makes it evident to me that it's there because it's a reference. It's there because Bowser Jr. had that in, Mario Sunshine, where he debuted as a character. Whoops. Oh my god. No! Whoops. And it's also weird that Bowser and Bowser Jr. are kind of the heart, because they have a lot more screen time and, like, focus on their relationship than a certain other relationship that's in the game. A family bond relationship that should have gotten a lot more focus, but I'll go into that a little bit later when I talk about spoilers. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Now, so yeah, Yoshi, he's really only there because it's like, he's in the Mario game, so wouldn't it be cool if he's just in the movie now? And now he's in the movie, so that's it. Hang on, I wrote notes. In my notes, I just wrote Bowser and Bowser Jr. equals the heart of the movie. Which I already talked about. Rosalina gets the Luigi treatment from the first movie, but even then, Luigi got at least a little bit more screen time in the first film. But yeah, basically, she gets captured and she's out of the film for most of it. I mean, you gotta feel bad for what's her name, Brie Larson. You know, because it's like, apparently, I heard that she's a big fan of the Mario franchise and a huge fan of Rosalina as a character, and for her to, you know, get that character to play her in a movie, it's like, just imagine for a second that you have this like video game character that you love very much, and you're like, you know what, this is a really cool, great character, one of my favorites, and then you get cast in a movie as that character, and you get to play that character in a movie, and then it turns out that she's barely in it. And when she is, she doesn't have a lot of lines. It's just like, oh. And I think that's a bad thing. Rosalina should have more in a Mario Galaxy movie. You can't just make her a princess who's just kidnapped and that's it. And even then, like, I don't think it's like 100% a bad idea. Like, you can make any idea good. As long as it, you know, it all depends on the execution of it. You could have, like, her being captured, but still give her a lot of dialogue, and maybe she talks to Bowser Jr. and tries to, like, sympathize with what he's going through about him trying to find his dad and trying to reunite with his family in that way. And it's like she could relate to that a little bit and try and talk to him about it. And then, you know, you can have Bowser Jr. still be the bad guy here. Be like, no, I'm still not gonna let you go or whatever. You know, you could do that and it could be fine. But whatever. The stuff I want is just a little different than what we got in the movie. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just so empty. The movie's just empty. It's just here to exist. And there's not enough, you know, like Fox McCloud is in it. I mean, it's a bit of a spoiler, a little bit, I guess, but he's in the trailers and stuff, and it's like, whatever. And he doesn't, like, serve... But he serves a purpose, but, like, he's very... It's very weird. He's more important to the plot than Rosalina is. Or at least, you know, he's more relevant. He's in more scenes and stuff. And I think that's weird. I just think it's weird. Not that I didn't like him, you know. But, like, he could easily be replaced by any space pilot character that they can have. They could even make him like Captain Toad. What he's needed for is just, you know, Peach and Toad are looking for a pilot to take them to a specific place to, you know, find Rosalina. And Fox McCloud is the one who takes them. And it's like, I didn't dislike him or anything. I just, you know, I just think it's a little weird that he gets a lot more screen time than Rosalina does, but whatever. And he can be easily replaced by anyone. Like Captain Toad, a character that debuted in this game. You know, Mario Galaxy, the game that the movie's based on. And the atmosphere of this game and like just the beautiful music and the quieter, somber moments too, and the big bombastic like orchestral music that sometimes plays and for different levels, and it's just not present in the film. There are some scenes that are like really beautiful to look at, like the near the beginning. They do have like the star shower thing, and it's pretty to look at. It's pretty to look at, but I don't know. That's like as far as we get. Some of the shots where they're flying through space is good, but they don't. I don't know. I just wanted a little more. You know what I mean? I wanted a little bit more. I'm gonna actually go to the newer levels here. So, okay, I'm gonna talk about spoilers now, because we're trying to make this shorter here. So that's basically all I have to say before getting into spoilers. The movie is just... it's soulless. And it's just, hey, here's references, and so there you go. That's basically what this movie is, and that's what you're gonna get if you're gonna watch it. So, now I'm gonna talk about spoilers. So, first major spoiler. Rosalina and Princess Peach are sisters. This should be a big deal. And it is for a lot of fans. You know, like, this is not something that was ever canonized in the games, in any of the games. It was just a fan theory that people had. You know, because they look similar, and it's like, oh, you know, who was her, like, family before? Like, maybe it's Princess Peach. And now it's revealed in this movie that, yes, they are sisters. At least in the movie franchise universe. I don't know if they're gonna make that canon in the games, but, you know. At least in the movies, they are canonically sisters. And they have this little backstory where Rosalina knows about her because when she was a baby, when Peach was a baby, Rosalina was a little older, and they lived together on this little planet, and they use their little star powers where they touch hands and they can make stuff grow, and you know, they got star magic. Who doesn't like star magic, you know what I mean? So then some stuff happened. Some like bad guys were coming in, and she couldn't like protect her, so she sent her away in a little warp pipe. She threw her in a warp pipe, and that's how she ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. And she doesn't remember because she was a little baby. And so it's like, okay, that makes sense. And now it's sort of all coming back to her, now that she's like remembering who Rosalina is and all this stuff. And this sounds great. This sounds like a really good, like, character moment for these two, and especially for Peach, because we didn't, you know, she doesn't know where she comes from, she's looking for her family, and now she knows that she has a sister out there that she can go and save because she's in trouble, and it's like, yeah, that sounds great. Too bad they don't do anything with this. They basically, like, she comes in, she saves her at the end, and basically that's it. They don't have any meaningful conversation in this entire film. She comes in at the end. I think, legitimately, I think she has, like, the only things, or at least the last things that they say to each other are, okay, Rosalina says, I knew you'd come, when she's in the glass dome thing that's her prison. She says, I knew you'd come, and I think that might be the last thing she says to her, to Peach, this entire film. I could be wrong. Maybe, if I rewatch the movie, maybe, you know. And I think the last thing that Peach ever says to Rosalina is, "I need you to try." Which sounds really mean, if you don't have the context, but... but, yeah, she's like... She can't break into her prison, her little dome prison that she's in, but she remembers, like, oh, we need to touch hands so that we can, like, overpower the prison and break her out. So she touches her hand to the dome, the glass, you know, and Rosalina's having a bad time, and she can't, like, get up. It's hard for her to, like, get up, you know. And that's when Peach says, "I need you to try," you know, and she musters up the strength to get up and touch hands, you know, through the glass, of course, through the glass. And in doing so, they overpower the strength of whatever that glass is made out of. Could be glass, it could be, like, I don't know, something stronger. It's clear, so I don't know. Yeah, they're strong enough to break through it, and they hug, and I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's all you get with these two. And like I said, Bowser and Bowser Jr. get more. They get more screen time, even though... Not saying that they, you know, their father-son relationship getting screen time is a bad thing, but I think it's a little weird that they get more than Princess Peach and Rosalina when, you know, they're kind of they're like the good guys here, and they're it's kind of a big deal, like I said. It's a big deal for them to be sisters in this movie, and they just don't do anything with it. It's like, oh, okay. Then the movie ends. You know? It's like, there are scenes in this movie where they could have cut out. And it wouldn't... It would give us more time for them to actually have a meaningful conversation. At least at the end of the movie. Like, there's some questions that are unanswered. Like, that Peach could even ask. Like, hey, why did you not come for me? Like, you knew where I was. Now that we're, you know, both adults, you could have come to save me. Or, not save me, I mean, you know, you could have come to see me. That's what I meant. And maybe Rosalina, in, like, you know, you can have a little bittersweet moment where she's like, well, you know, I've chosen this life of being, like, a lonely, like, space guardian or whatever. I didn't want, you know, and you found a home with the toads and stuff. And I didn't want to get in the middle of that, you know? There could be that sort of thing. And my life is very, like I said, lonely, and you're not gonna see the toads anymore because we'll be flying around space, you know? And it would just be easier if you just didn't know about me. You know, that kind of thing? Like, you know, there's something there. There's a little bit of a... something. There's something there, okay? That you can do, but they just don't. They just choose not to do anything with it. So, like, one of the scenes that I think they could have cut out was the dinosaur scene, where Mario and Luigi become babies with a baby gun. Bowser Jr. hits them with a baby gun, turns them into babies, and they go on, like, a little side quest. That's the best way I can describe it. They go on a side quest. They sort of, like, crawl away. Toad and Yoshi have to go and follow them, you know, and then they run across a, they come across a T-Rex from Mario Odyssey. And, you know, hijinks ensue, I guess. There's stuff that happens that, yeah, they get into, like, a chase scene with the T-Rex, that was one of the scenes where I was just sitting there thinking, like, do we really need this scene? Like, does this further anything in any plot or subplot? There are no subplots, by the way. It's just the one plot. But, like, it doesn't further anything. And like I said before, all references, no substance. This whole chase scene, this is here because it's a reference. Them being babies and Yoshi having to look after them because Toad then becomes a baby because he tries to shoot them with a reverse gun, with the same gun, but they have the settings reversed. But apparently he didn't have it reversed because he shot himself with it on accident and he turned himself into a baby. So now you got baby Mario, baby Toad, baby Luigi, and you have to Yoshi has to look after them while being chased by a dinosaur. And it's only here because it's a reference to Yoshi's Island and the Yoshi's Story games. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm focusing right now. Cool. Sorry, I had to focus on that. I could not. Ah! Anyway, what was I saying? I just think that it's a little weird that they have this scene in here, and they could have cut this out. Like, really. It's only here because of that. It's referencing the Yoshi games, where Mario and Luigi are babies, and Yoshi has to look after them, and reunite them and stuff. And the T-Rex is a reference to Mario Odyssey. And then that scene is done. They become regular, like, adults again. And then they move on. And there was no reason for that scene to be there. You could have had, maybe, I don't know, a character arc where maybe at the beginning of the movie where they have, at the beginning of the movie, they come across Yoshi, they maybe rescue him, and maybe Yoshi has a little bit of, like, I don't know, he's got, like, behavioral issues, I guess, and they try to, like, befriend him and train him and stuff throughout the movie, and he's only really hanging around because they, like, I don't know, feed him, and he doesn't really care as much about them, you know? And this would be the moment where it's like, oh no, he actually does care, because he has to, you know, save them from being... He has to save them from being killed by a T-Rex. And they have that shot where he thinks he's lost them. He, like, lost them in the water or something. He dropped them. And this could be the moment, like, oh no, like, I don't know, it's something. But whatever, he's their friend from the start. So and again, there's just nothing there. There's an idea here that they could have done something with. They could have made this scene actually meaningful between Yoshi and Mario and Luigi, where they're just like, hey, you actually saved us, buddy. You know, like, this could be the moment where they're like, yeah, we are actually friends now. But they're friends from the start, so it's like... This scene only exists for the references. So it's like, fine, whatever. But you could have cut it out for something meaningful with Rosalina and Peach, but again, they didn't really care enough for that. I don't know. I don't know. Is there, like, anything else to say? Like, the movie was not as good as I would have liked, basically, is all I really have to say. Things I liked. There are a couple of scenes that I genuinely liked. For one, I liked, This is another little spoiler for a cameo that comes up in the movie. But Mr. Game & Watch is in the movie. He makes a little cameo. And you know what? I think it's actually a good cameo. Because it actually works if you don't know who that is. Like, it still works as a cameo. Because it works for the scene. So like, you know, the paintbrush thing that Bowser Jr. has, like, he can draw stuff, he can paint stuff with it, and things come to life with that sort of thing. And during a fight scene with Bowser and Bowser Jr., I don't remember if they're fighting... I think they're fighting both of them, but Bowser specifically, I think they're fighting, and they get... Luigi gets a hold of the paintbrush, and so he decides to draw something, to paint something here on the floor, and what comes out is, Mr. Game & Watch. And they do a little joke where it's just like, oh really, that's what you're doing here? And Luigi's like, what? You know I'm bad at drawing? You know, and it's just this little stick figure guy who, by the way, moves at like 2 frames, you know? So it's like, that's funny in and of itself. If you don't know who that is, it's like, okay, that works, because it's just this doofy little stick figure guy who you don't expect to be good in a fight, but then he actually is really good in the fight, just out of nowhere. It's like, wait, why is he a good fighter? You know, like, that's funny. But then, if you do know who Mr. Game & Watch is, if you've played Super Smash Brothers, and you've played the original games or whatever, you know that he's probably gonna win this fight, or at least be good in the fight. It's like, oh yeah, he's gonna kick the crap out of them. And so he does. So I think it works as a cameo, and also as a joke if you've never heard of him before. I think it actually does work. So, you know, I thought it was alright. What else? I liked the casino scene that has, like, that works off of gravity. It's got, like, crazy... Oh god, whoops. It's got crazy gravity, mechanics to it, like the original, Mario Galaxy games. Where it's sort of like, with a bunch of walls around, and you sort of can walk on the walls, and depending on what wall you're on, the gravity shifts to that wall, you know? It's really cool. It's a cool location. I just like it. I like it aesthetically. I think it works. And it's very reminiscent of the, Mario Galaxy. It seems like it could be in one of the levels in the game. Like, there could be, like, a casino level or whatever. Which would have been cool, but... whatever. So I like that. I like the animation, as previously discussed. I liked that they used more of the score. You know, they used more Mario music in it. I think that was one of the things a lot of people complain about from the first movie. Them using a bunch of, like, 80s songs and stuff instead of the Mario music. So, you know, I think that's cool. I don't know, what else? I liked some of the interactions Mario and Peach have. I think they're nice. I don't know. There's just some scenes where they're just, like, getting along, and you know what? I liked them. I thought they were cute scenes with these two. Again, they're not much. They're very bare bones, but, you know, I'll take it. like the scene where they were previously discussed, where they become adults again from being babies, and Fox hasn't repaired his ship yet and can't seem to repair it because he doesn't have like the parts. And Peach is in like kind of the background, and she's having a bad time. She's having a real fit over there. She's like really upset and very angry and kicking rocks around and in the dirt and stuff like that. And Mario comes up and he's about to like try and cheer her up, and she's like kind of just like, yeah, I'm not really in the mood to be cheered up right now. And so he's like, alright, well, can I at least be frustrated with you? And she accepts that. And then now they're both kind of like kicking the dirt and the rocks around, which ultimately makes her feel a little better. And it's just like, you know what? That was a nice scene. Again, it's very bare bones. It's not like... It's not breaking the mold, you know? As our Lord and Savior Smash Mouth would say. But yeah, it's just... yeah, I don't know. It was a nice scene, that's all. There are other little scenes like that where I'm just like, you know what, that was nice. I like that. What else? I don't know, I think that might be it. Everything else was just, like, either bad or just okay. I think that's about it, honestly. I don't know, I'm probably gonna, like, as soon as I end this video, as soon as I end recording this, I'm gonna start thinking of, like, other things I could have said. But, I don't know. Basically, to sum up, I just wish that they had more substance to the film. To both of these films, because I have now seen every single Mario movie to exist right now. At least now that I know of. I've even watched the anime film that someone uploaded on YouTube. That, yeah, there's a Mario Brothers animated anime, specifically, film. And even that one has some problems to it, too. There's some problems to it. It's got the more traditional Mario plot where, you know, Peach is kidnapped by Bowser, who's trying to marry her, and Mario and Luigi have to go and save her. There's some weird stuff in that one, too. Maybe one day I'll talk about it, but today is not that day. I think it can be done. I think a really good Mario movie can be done, but it just... Not even to mention the live-action film. Which I like a lot more than other people give it credit for. I think it's not a perfect movie, okay? It's not... It's very strongly not a perfect movie. Not even close, but you know what? I like it. Probably due to nostalgia, but whatever. I still like it. So yeah, I've seen every Mario film now that I can, you know, that I know of, at least. And not one of them has, like, been the perfect, like, experience for, like, the Mario Brothers, you know, to movie adaptation. Which I think it could be done. I'm not saying that it needs to be, like, a perfect movie. You know, that's a very difficult thing to do. Largely impossible, as, you know, some people might say. But I think we can get a really, really good Mario film. And it doesn't have to be, like... I'm not asking for, like, Citizen Kane here, you know what I mean? I can understand that, like... I don't know. I don't like when people say, like, oh, well, the Mario games don't have story. So what did you expect? Like, that's just what these games are. That's what this is. And it's like, okay, first of all, Mario does have a story. It's a very, very simple story. But all the Mario games have a story. Including Mario Galaxy. Even the very first Mario game, even the very first Super Mario Brothers game, has a story, technically. It's a very extremely simple story, but it is a story. Bowser kidnaps the princess, you have to go and save her. That's a story. Also, even if it didn't have a story, these are movies. Movies are a different medium from a video game. Video games don't really technically have to have a story. You know what I mean? As long as the gameplay is fun, you can have a video game still be good. Even if the story is terrible in the game, or if there's no story at all. It doesn't matter, as long as the, I mean, it would always help, of course. But if the story sucks, or if there's no story at all, as long as the gameplay is good, then, you know, people will overlook that, because, you know, it's a video game. Movies are a little different. If the story sucks in a movie, you can't just be like, oh, well, at least the gameplay was good. At least it's fun to play. It could be fun to watch, even if the story sucks, but, like, you know, again, it could only benefit from having a good story. I don't think there's any scenario where the story is really good, but, like, and people would complain about that, you know what I mean? Like, a good story can only benefit the movie. So I don't get why people advocate for being like, oh, well, you know, it's just a dumb kids movie. Why are you taking it so seriously? It's just a kids movie. It's like, whatever, man. You wouldn't say that about, like, I don't know, The Incredibles. The Incredibles is a great film. And that's a family movie. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a family film. Some people might say that it's a kid's film, but, you know, whatever. It's a family film. I saw that in theaters, and it was incredible. Literally. No pun intended. Actually, fully intended. And nobody would say that to that. If I were to say, oh yeah, this movie was the best movie ever made, okay, that's maybe too extreme. If I were to say that this movie was, like, really good, and I'm, like, gushing over the different stuff that's in it, and it's like, yeah, this was so good, this was incredible, I don't think many people who would say, stop taking it so seriously, it's just a kid's film, if, you know, as a response to me saying that it's bad and complaining about it, I don't think you would be saying the same thing if I were saying it were good. And saying like, wow, this movie was amazing, it was incredible. I don't know, I think, a lot of people would just be like, yeah man, cool. Or just not care. I don't think, you know? But if I complain about it, and I say that they could have done better, you get the people being like, well, what did you expect? I mean, it's a kid's movie. Like, stop taking it so seriously. And it's like, I don't know, man. Kind of weird. I don't know. I don't even know if I said that with any coherency, but I think you gotta just put a little bit more effort in your movies. That's what I want. You can do a Mario movie and make it have a super simple story and still make it good and still have substance to it and like have character arcs to it. Whatever. I've been going on too long. I'm about done basically. I just want more substance, okay? I just want more. There are kids movies that have a lot of good substance to them. Like, I don't know, Secret of Nim, one of my favorite movies. That technically a kid's film, you know, family movie. Like I said before, oh god, I almost just long jumped right into that and died. Ratatouille, that's another one. Incredibles. The Iron Giant. All of these were Brad Bird, by the way. These are all Brad Bird movies. Directed. And they're great. They're fantastic family films. And I love them. I think my favorite one out of them is the Iron Giant. That one's just a fantastic movie. I love it. Still to this day. I'd say that movie has a very simple plot, too. You know? It's a very simple plot. And it's done very well, and it has a lot of heart to it, and doesn't treat you or any of the children who might be watching like they can't handle deeper stuff. You know? And I think you should have more standards. No offense, but yeah, you should have more better standards for your movies, I think. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think, I've been going for an hour now, just ranting, which is a lot better than I did before. When I tried this the first time, I went for 2 hours, but yeah. So, I think for now, that'll be it. And next time, I'll be playing a different game. And I don't know. Maybe I'll think of more stuff to say about the movie later. I don't know. But you know, I mean, I went with like, I don't know if I said this already, but or if I said it in the other recording that I deleted at this point, but I went with my brother and sister-in-law and their kids, so, you know, my nephews. And, you know, they liked it. You know, take your kids to see it. That's what it's for. That's what this movie is. And that's all they'll ever be. Now, any of these movies... Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about, like... Okay, another spoiler. At the end, there is an end credits scene. There are two. A mid-credits scene and an after-credits scene. So if you're gonna see it, then, you know... share with anyone who you're seeing it with. Hey, you know... So you know, if you want to stay, there's an after-credits scene. And, it teases... Or it doesn't even tease. It, like, straight up shows Princess Daisy. So you can bet that she's gonna be in the next one. And you know, that's just what they do in these movies. That they know what they're doing. They do it in the Sonic movies too. Every single one of those Sonic movies has an after credits scene like that, where they just tease another character. That's like, hey, the next one, this character is gonna be in it. And at the end of the first one, Tails is teased, like, oh god. Tails is gonna be in the next one. And then at the end of the second one, Shadow is teased, because it's like, okay, now we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the Sonic Adventure Battle 2, whatever. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Weird name, but there you go. We're gonna do that for the third movie, and Shadow's gonna be in it. And at the end of the third movie, the end credits scene, they tease Amy as a character. The character's gonna be in the next one. Here we go. They know what they're doing. And it's working. It works. It works. Basically, that's what is going on for this one. They teased Daisy, and again, I'm not really excited because I think they're gonna just do what they did for this one. Either she's gonna be part of the main plot, maybe, or she's gonna get the Yoshi treatment and she's just gonna be around while the plot happens, and she could be cut. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. There's just that's it. That's really all I have to say. I don't know. Thank you for listening. If you did, I don't know if this was intriguing for you. You know, discuss in the comments. There you go. What you liked, what you didn't like about the movie, or don't. I don't care. I'm not your boss. Anyway, that's about it. I have nothing else to say. I'm ending the video now, so thank you for listening and goodbye for now.